taking that leap, taking that foot off the ground, just saying, hey, I'm gonna go for it. And if we fail, we fail. How we turned a tragedy into our dream life.
So the accident, I was coming back home from the store. It was a road, big road, 3 lanes each side, 2 lanes in the middle. Came out of the light. So I'm going from my left lane to my right lane so I can turn to the road to go home. So as soon as I got to the right lane and get my vision back to the road, because there was nobody in front of me, nobody on the left. I looked before. As soon as I get my vision back to the left, there was that car on top of me already. The guy didn't yield, didn't stop in 2 stop signs, just came across all the lanes from all the other side and hit me, so T-bone. On that time, my car was just from the street all the way to a parking lot where I passed between a telephone pole and a hydrant, like you can see now. I passed right in the middle and I landed on this parking lot. Fun fact that happened, funny but not funny. My mom was visiting me. Finally I was able to give her a vacation after 20 years that she hadn't had a vacation. I gave her a vacation, which was not a good vacation. I was in the ambulance, they closed the door. I just started to hear this person like knocking and going crazy outside.
Yeah, I couldn't calm her down.
No, yeah, she was with my mom. So the paramedic pretty much like, so what's going on? I'm like, well, I believe it's my mom. And I tell you, she's big, and when she's like this, she won't stop until achieve her goal. And so better open this door and let me at least give them the positive hands and say I'm fine but not fine. So she can stop. And the paramedic, oh gosh, yeah, let me open the door. So she opened the door. I saw both out there, just say I'm positive, get positive. So that was kind of funny. And the paramedic was like, well, I don't want to get this thing destroyed, so yeah, me either. And she didn't speak in English, so that make even things worse. So of course, after the accident, we have the recovery time, and I mean, as soon as I left the hospital without knowing that I had an injury, they say I had nothing, but
was a lie.
I was in really bad pain, especially my chest, could not sleep. Never had pain like that in my life, and it was for days. I was sent to the physiotherapy before doing any exam, so I started the physiotherapy, and that actually aggravated because made it worse movements. And to finally I got my MRI, and guess what? I had 3 broken sternum.
Yeah.
I have a torn on my ligament on my shoulder, and my L4 and L5 discs, they were ruptured.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So then it's a new process, new beginning again. Like I was told that I had to go for surgery, especially for my shoulder, and for a procedure on my back, so I could heal properly my disc. Unfortunately, I didn't have any choice. My chest, I just had to let it heal. Knowing that I'm going through surgery, know that I'll not be able, actually will not be able to keep work on this yacht. We were crew on a yacht. They're seasonal. They do 6 months of the year with the owners, so we have to be there with the owners for 6 months of the year and 6 months kind of off. When I found out that I had to do the surgery and I would not be capable to work for a long time, of course I had to talk to my boss, and unfortunately we both lost the job. It's kind of a pack if I left.
Yeah, we're
job.
Basically a package deal, and for our jobs being super physically demanding, Caio needed to be 100% healthy.
Yeah.
And if not, he was just gonna re-injure himself and keep being injured. You gotta take some time to recover.
The worst part is seeing all your savings going down to the drain because we're not making money, we're spending a lot of money. You start to worry, right? It's like, what are we gonna do? So my mind started to go through, okay, what we have to do to get some income again. So that's when I approached her and was like, hey, our house is almost double or even double of what we paid for 2 years ago. And I think that difference can give us a boat, a sailboat, which is our dream for 10 years from now. What do you think? And she was like, well, how was your answer? The first answer?
I just came so accustomed to the house, the garden. It was just, you became comfortable, and I was a little iffy about it at first.
Yeah. So I tell first day she was like, and then the second day, I get up and she's already on the computer.
I'm researching boats.
Researching boats, looking what she can buy with the eventual profit. And she's like, and I tell her, now just one day. The next I would say 2 weeks.
I changed my mind very quickly.
Actually, I have to hey, let's
not get too crazy too quick.
Let's be realistic. See if we can sell the house first.
So we put the house up on the market at a really high price, and then every week or so we would slowly bring the price down, realizing that the market was not as hot as we hoped it would be. So we put it up in May, and by September we finally got an offer. A little bit below asking price at $510, but it was an offer we just couldn't refuse after not getting any traction for months.
And we were worried about keep it going down the price, and at the same time we made the math like, okay, we still can get the house. And that's when I actually convinced her to forget about catamarans and go with monohull, which brings me the regatta feeling. I can do regatta races. So she finally accepted.
We were able to finally sell our house, and our next big move was to move from Bonita Springs up into St. Pete. And we were selling everything we could get our hands on that we had, except for the cats and ourselves. We migrated up to St. Pete. While we were doing that, we were also doing a ton of boat research, trying to figure out what boat would be the best for us. We figured what kind of profit we'd had, what kind of debts we had to pay, and what we could actually put into a boat. Little did we know how lucky we really were. The closing date for the house was to be September 28th, and the broker called us up asking if the buyers, if we'd be willing to move the date up a couple weeks ahead. And we're just like, okay, yeah, we are getting everything sold in time. We can move it up a week in advance. And we moved up to St. Pete around, I want to say September 21st, 22nd.
Yeah, something like that.
Little did we know, there was a hurricane brewing in the distance. And September 28th was actually the day Hurricane Ian blew through Fort Myers, Bonita Springs, just Lee County in general. We definitely feel for those people who were infected by the hurricane. It was brutal.
Especially there we have a couple friends that lost a lot, and we feel in our block, especially our block, just got a little flood. The house didn't flood at all.
We're in a little bit of a higher land than just below sea level.
So the house didn't get any damage, so new owner must be happy, which is nice.
And if we weren't able to move the closing date up, the deal would have been dead. The owners or the new owners would have backed out of the deal, and you had to get, I think, an extra survey done after the hurricane to make sure everything's structurally good. So our whole boat dream would have been dead in the water.
Literally.
Yeah.
Now we settled down finally here in St. Pete. We have our cats good. We have our things in storage. We good to keep going on
to the next chapter in the story.
My health, I was finally at the end of my recovery, and I was finally untied from this lawsuit that I had from the car accident. While we had the lawsuit, I could not use my health insurance, and my health insurance actually provides me free doctors in Brazil, actually the best ones in Brazil, and I trust them way better. So I want to finish my recovery, which will be around 1 month in Brazil. That way I know that I'll be 100% good. And the meanwhile, we're looking for boats, right? Have the trip to Brazil all set up, and I have a little stop in Panama to see 2 boats. First boat.
It wasn't really what was advertised.
No.
It was what, a 50-foot Beneteau?
Yeah, 50-foot Beneteau, and that's really humid place. And
It was covered in mold. Just
yeah.
everywhere you looked, it was just mold.
Yeah, and was also leaning to one side a little bit, so I like, no. Okay, so I'm at the airport, finally got cleared, I'm good, so I still have an hour or something to get my flight. By that time, I had the good news to Sara. One bad, one good. So bad news, Lintel Bay, which was the first boat that we have actually on our list.
That we thought was going to be our boat.
Yeah, that was not the one. But the second boat, I love it. I actually wanted to do an offer, so I called her and said, well, what do you think? I think it's reasonable. So how was your
after
reaction?
seeing like the videos and everything, I said, hey, I trust you. Let's go for it.
Yeah, I called her back and like, hey, you ready? We bought a boat. I mean, for
The
now,
offer's accepted.
Yeah, the offer was accepted.
Now it's time to try to get a survey on her. So at this time, Caio was in Brazil, I'm back in St. Pete, Florida, and we just purchased a boat in Panama. And the next goal is to try to get a survey done on it while we're both not in Panama.
Yeah, and that's really hard task, and learn the lesson. Don't try to do things in distance. Don't rely on people in distance. We had 1 month to get this survey done so we could approve.
And we did everything way in advance too.
Way in advance. So on our part, we did everything correct and everything in time to get the survey done and say, okay, the boat is good, we approve. But that's when the sort of drama begins, because to get things done, you need this. To get a survey done, you need insurance, so you can get hauled out at the marina. You need in Panama cruising permit, which was expired. You need a captain to work on the boat. That was an easy part. That I could arrange somebody, but I could not arrange the insurance because the boat was not in my name, and the cruising permit. If I was there, I'm 100% sure I would make that happen, but I wasn't. So we tried many different ways, not able.
Yeah.
5 days before the approval date, that was our last option to do the survey without the whole inspection, right? That was another thing. I like, well, at least I'm gonna know if the rigging is good, inside is good, structure good. In my mind, the boat structure, the bones were good, but we need a survey. So we did that survey really quick. Couldn't get the boat running because during the captain, we thought that the survey people actually would be able to move the boat. They couldn't.
There's just a lot of miscommunications, and
Yeah.
it could have been like a language barrier between all sides, but yeah, there was
Yeah.
lots of little pieces missing. So now that we got the survey all sorted out, we accepted the vessel November 1st, and the deal's supposed to close on November 8th. So now it's time for me to see the boat for the very first time down in Panama.
There it comes. Our dinghy. You cannot even see the dinghy, you just see the person of the dinghy. Look at this. Wish us luck. There comes our dinghy. Yeah, that dinghy is gonna have to be replaced. What's up, Oscar? Here you go. You arranged two dinghies to go. Good luck, love.
Hit the subscribe button and tune in next week as we holler out and find out exactly what we got ourselves into after seeing the bottom of the boat for the very first time.